Welcome to the latest New Haven Independent Vlog News Summary, direct from our assignment desk, otherwise known as my Compost Heap. Let's see what stories we're working on at this hour. So much going on. Dig this, they had the shovels out and a drill rig at Union Station, our beautiful historic train station, where they're building our first government geothermal system for heating and cooling. Green tech. And you know what's great about it is we have the money in hand. The federal government had approved $9.5 million toward the project that, of course, Trump didn't want to give it to us because it made the air cleaner. And we got the money after suing, and work is beginning. Way to go. Hey, I heard they might be needing some windows here. This is available if you want it because they're going to be building so many new apartments. It just got approved this week by City Plan on State Street, where we're undoing the mistakes of the past and making the street narrower rather than a highway to the suburbs. And they just approved a 7 and a 12-story new apartment building, 462 new apartments, right in the shadow of those hundreds of new apartments that came in the wasteland and cleared lots from a renewal era, right on Chapel and Olive area. Build, baby, build, I guess. Well, they might be getting a little confused when they're paying the rent and open their checkbooks at Sunset Ridge Apartments. Is the rent too damn high? Well, there's a new tenants union there that just put in the signatures to form there, one of 7 tenant unions at different properties owned by this landlord in 5 different states. But there was a second union that also showed up that says the landlord's great, the rent's not too high, and that you're just making it up about all these leaks and everything. And they clashed at City Hall this week. The police had to keep them apart, demonstrating about who really represents the unions at Sunset Ridge. This is gonna be an interesting watch, not just because of the law, what happens when 2 groups file to be the real union, but whether a slumlord's new tactic is going to be to use fair rent laws and protections for tenants to try to game the system of who's a union. Stay tuned, the Independent's on it. I'm going to do some higher order math. I can't find my calculator, so if I want to order 3 inches plus 2 inches, I got 5. Well, guess what? Adding is going to happen faster. The governor was in town this week. They're putting $121 million into quantum computing research at Yale and UConn. That's the big new thing. We talk about AI, but this could be bigger. They say the computations can be taken so fast by not just using zeros and ones in the components of how these systems work. And they think it'll lead to great new advances. Whether or not cure cancer, we're going to be able to solve problems faster. Well, I got the latest honor roll for the Board of Alders. 10 alders this week spoke up and voted no in a vote that we don't usually see a lot there, where they're demanding that their legislature do their job. Here's what it was about. They voted no about confirming the 2 latest mayoral appointees to the Board of Ed. And this had nothing to do with whether these are good or bad appointees. It had to do with the fact that the Board of Alders committee that's supposed to review appointees didn't even bring them in for an interview, didn't even ask any questions. And the reason why that matters is because the Board of Ed is a hugely important body in our city in terms of how our schools run and opportunities for children. The Board of Alders, our elected representatives, have very little control over that. The part of their control is about approving or disapproving the entire budget, not parts, and then reviewing the appointees the mayor makes. So if they don't do their job, these 10 alders said, we have to start doing their jobs. Kiana Flores, Frank Douglas, Caroline Tanby Smith, Anna Festus, Sarah Miller, Frank Redente, Troy Streeter, Richard Furlow, Gary Hogan, and Honda Smith all get A's or on their honor roll this week. Well, here's some Band-Aids. Some people are going to need it because the Band-Aids we have in our health system, but Marty Looney has a better idea. Remember we passed Obamacare, which is the best we can get through Congress to cover more people with health insurance, but it just put Band-Aids on the system's fundamental problem, which is the greedy insurance companies, including in our state, whose whole business model is to charge us as much money as possible and then deny us the care that's promised in return. Obamacare kept that in place. At the end of this month, Marty Looney was talking this week, our New Haven State Senator, about how up to 50,000 people in Connecticut might see their Obamacare premiums go up to $40,000 a year, and a lot just won't be able to afford it. Marty is proposing that the state try to fix the problem, get rid of the Band-Aids and go more fundamental and expand the state public option, which would mean that nonprofits, small businesses, and individuals priced out of Obamacare would be able to join the state public employees health insurance plan. A good first step. Well, I got my Wall Street Journal today, which I love reading, but I'm still not seeing the story I want to read. This week, our Congresswoman, Rose DeLauro, joined every member of Congress but one who voted to call for releasing the Epstein files and the sex scandals, the sex trafficking scandals. But I'm still not seeing the story I really want to know. Yeah, everyone is about the sex. We know it's disgusting. But my question is, how did he get all that money in the first place that enabled him to run this trafficking scheme with some of the most powerful people and some of the most vulnerable people on the planet. I think the Wall Street Journal has the chops to get that story. I'm guessing they're onto it, and I can't wait to read it. I got to run now and defrost my tofurkey because Thanksgiving's coming up, and I'm wishing the best, whether it's tofurkey or turkey that you're eating next week for Thanksgiving. Let's take a moment to reflect on how lucky we are to have each other, the friends and family at our table, and in our wonderful city. Till next time, this is New Haven Independent Vlog News Summary. Remember, always pick up your trash and let's recycle it while we still can.